Hello my scrappy friends, it is Jess here from the Scrappy Sisters and thank you for joining me for a Kidaholics Kits design team layout. Today I am scrapping day number 16 of Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. This sketch was created by Ashley from the Scrapping Nerd. I'm not gonna lie, I actually found this really challenging. I tried to stick really closely to the sketch at first, and I just could not make it work. Nothing I did filled me with joy. Nothing I did made me feel like I was getting this layout correct. Like it just wasn't flowing. And I had to put it aside. I walked away from this layout quite a bit, like weeks, I want to say. A lot of weeks. I texted it to Katie quite a few times. I made changes. In the end, I actually gave up on it and thought, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this sketch for this day. And you know what? That's okay. It is not like anyone rings you up and growls at you because you didn't complete a sketch. It was just, I wanted to and I was struggling. So I think I probably left it for about 3 weeks, went on holidays, went away, did some things, went back to work, all of this stuff. And then I came back to it and I thought I'm going to try again. So I moved the strips and I made them a border instead. I cut my circle a little tiny bit smaller. I had the circle really, really huge, really similar to in the sketch. And I just snipped it down a little bit so I could fit a border and still have some white space. I then also stitched around the edge of my circle. I thought that looked a little bit nicer for the look that I'm going for. I then laid out my photos in that same configuration as what the sketch said, and then I sort of started to get a bit of a vibe happening. I just put my title in the same place as the title was suggested, and I embellish in approximately the same places as the embellishments are suggested as well. But for some reason, I just started to kind of make it work. It's a little bit of a mess, but I think we're finally getting somewhere, which is really nice after weeks and weeks of struggling. Sometimes it's not the layout, sometimes it's not that it wasn't vibing. Sometimes it's not that it actually looked bad at all. Sometimes it's just me. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't motivated to scrap. I had my perfectionist pants on and I, couldn't be happy with it. I didn't like the photos. I didn't like the way I looked in the photos. You know what? A, that's not accurate. But B, that has nothing to do with the layout itself. If that's my problem, maybe I need to take the photos away and just work with the mats for a little while and get that layout working with just the mats. And when I'm happy with how the layout looks with just the idea of where the photos will go, maybe I could vibe with it then. Maybe it was because in the photos I'm wearing quite distinctly different clothing in quite distinctly different color schemes, and they didn't vibe with the colors in the kit. I don't know, but I look at this layout now and I think, why was I having so much trouble? It looks fine. It worked out totally fine. I literally followed the sketch, except I didn't put the straight lines on the left hand side. I put them around like a border. I don't get my problem, but it mentally blocked me for weeks and weeks, and scrapbooking is supposed to bring joy. So I moved on. I did other layouts. I walked away. And I did manage to come back to it and keep going. But you know what? It would not have been the end of the world if I had have put this circle back into my kit and one day used it for something else and just made the layout in a completely different way. That would have been totally fine as well. I think, we need to cut ourselves some slack. Why do we scrapbook? We scrapbook for joy. We scrapbook for our hobby. We scrapbook because it is our release and our place to get away from the stress, not to cause more stress. So that is my story of this layout. I am super happy with the way it turned out in the end. These are my close-ups. I hope you have enjoyed this process video and just listening to me ramble with what sometimes goes on in my brain. Thank you so much for being here, and I can't wait to see you all again really, really soon. Have a happy, scrappy week. Bye, everyone.